And also some good news here, everybody. We are in-game, and we're actually receiving the veto right now. They are picking and banning, so I think without further ado, let's get ourselves in-game onto the server here. We are seeing Team Red has banned Slowdown, and Team Blue has banned Flip of Faith. To get the colors right here, that is BDS banning Slowdown, and Into the Breach banning Flip of Faith.
Now, Flip of Faith was actually changed here not too long ago because the ending of the map was deemed so difficult and so inconsistent.
Agility Dash first pick.
Ooh, some people
That's a curveball.
have practiced this. But you know why they picked it? They've been practicing it so much because they know everybody else hates it.
Yeah, and they're answering with Gyroscope Into the Breach. The map names, by the way, if you're not familiar, you're gonna get familiar. They all have pretty unique identities, as we call them, that helps you separate them.
So, for example, Agility Dash, at the ending of that map, there is this very, very agile section where you have to jump from platform to platform. That's why the name is Agility Dash.
Yeah, and we're gonna see arrow pipes being left out and discarded from the pool. That is quite the map pack, though. I understand them banning Flip of Faith. The side flips on that map are quite tricky. And we have ourselves a pretty... Well, I don't actually know yet how this is going to play out. It's the first match of the season.
I mean, that is true. And Agility Dash, now that we're talking about it, we can actually take a quick look at the map if we have a small preview of it.
Definitely can. This is one of the highest pace maps of the map pack. It has this plastic part in the ending that you'll see. Also a lot of ice on Agility Dash that you have to master.
Yes, and it is very, very scary.
Here's the preview, you can see it.
Such a nice map, seeing it from this cinematic perspective. You can see that all these maps have everything from ice to dirt to grass to road. You gotta master all the elements.
You're seeing it's a little bit loud. We'll get that fixed. The music is hammering epic tones into our ears. But here you can see the ending. That blue plastic part is the tricky section to overcome. And actually, I just looked at it. A lot of the maps that we're starting out with are deemed to be some of the hardest maps. So Agility Dash, very difficult. You had the second map, which was Gyroscope, followed by Back and Forth, where you actually drive backwards. The match is starting. Get some hype in the chat for the teams. Are you rooting for I2B or are you rooting for BDS? Trackmania Grand League 2023 is going to be underway momentarily. Debated. We are skipping map.
It happens, guys. It was a little bit of a bait coming in right here, but we should be starting on right now. Let's take a look at the very, very first match of the Trackmania World Tour, Into the Breach versus Team BDS. Who will be taking it home?
As we mentioned, the battle between some of the more consistent players in the league in Aurel and Offie, and some of the young shots, you could call them, that are just going to try to go all out risk for more pace.
So here we see the warm-ups. The players are going to be able to just join the server, get ready, sit down, and already 5 seconds after that, it looks like the match is going to start. First match, we're looking at Mime's car right here. You can see it at the bottom. We start off with a wall ride already right here. We see a few different lines. Afi taking the lead.
Yeah, that wall ride in the start is already very difficult. And then you drop down here. You want to get into 5th gear early so you can keep it through this uphill, still remaining in 5th gear if possible. That makes the drifts here faster and less awkward as you go into the dirt. Now there's this dirt jump. If that's more on the side of it, you go, the lower you can jump, and Mime there, landing earlier, will be able to creep up towards first place. You have this plastic downhill into an uphill, jump, and landing in a drift here. Got to get around the corner. Very close round so far. Only Aurel about 2/10 behind the others. And then you will see... Oh, wow.
Yeah, all of the players actually chose to hit the scenery on purpose to get a better.
That was not by mistake.
That was definitely on purpose, especially since we see all of the players going for it. We also will see some small speed slides coming in before that, looping, and now just a few back and forth drifts here, resetting the speed pretty much, making the players just catch up to one another, and now they're getting to a very important section of the map.
This is what we can call the knife's edge. You have to transition back and forth here. The less airtime, the better. The earlier you land and accelerate, and then the identity itself. Mime jumping across all the penalty grass, skipping that, gaining more speed, and here the agility dash begins. You can see how difficult it is. We already lost Aurel to a mistake. Mime has seemingly survived it without any fails, but Alcon 2 had to respawn, and this is the first time we see the point distribution. So blue team is going to get 2 points for that round.
Yes.
And red team will get 1. It's the first to 10.
Yes, so once again, to recap, if you get first and second, you get 3 points. If you get first and third, you get 2 points. Opponents get 1 point. And if you get first and fourth, or second and third, you tie and each team gets a point. So now Into the Breach takes the lead from the very start.
Yeah, and this is actually a very long map to start on. It's the longest map in the map pack. 1 minute and 20 rounds is how long you have to drive without failure. But that middle part, Jnic, was super interesting. It's not something we've seen any players reveal in practice, and yet they all here in this match have discovered it.
That is true. And
so hitting that snow edge is actually faster.
And on top of that, the rulebook of the Trackmania World Tour is pretty long and very intricate. And there are a lot of rules about hitting walls and what to do, but the players have found what looks like a little loophole. We're gonna see it again right here. The players purposely going there on the ice to make sure they get a better turn, and then all of them... No, Aurel looks like he opted to not go for this speed slide that the players can go for, which is a little bit of a more difficult mechanic, but will gain them time.
Yeah, it's a big round here for blue team, though, because they are looking for that ace. If Elcon passes Offie here, they would get 3 points to none, but Mime into the wall there just before the knife edge. And now Offie actually has a big opportunity to turn this back into an advantage for red. He's going to go across here, but let's see the strategies. Elcon jumping across the grass there, as that would slow him down, and the agility dash decides. Offie failed this last time, now it's Elcon with a mistake, and it could be an ace for red team here if Aurel and Offie survives.
They are a second ahead, and I think we're gonna see the first ace of the TM World Tour.
That is the consistency we're talking about, right? They were not faster that round. Aurel had a bit of a slow start, but when Mime crashed and when Elcon crashed, BDS got the ace.
Yes, and those aces are super important because you deny your opponents any point and you get 3 for yourself. Those are crucial. So once again, the fight here is between risky, fast lines and consistency. And we see here that Team BDS takes it home by getting a consistent ending.
They certainly did, but that star trick looks hard to do reliably. The reason that they hit that snow edge is because it helps adjust their car for that very sharp downhill. It's just faster to crash into it, sort of, instead of turning and drifting all the way around the turn. Very interesting find by all the drivers. Here we go again. It is currently Into the Breach with top 2 before it, and I do wonder how they're aiming, lining this up. Elcon onto the full speed part here. You can see that he's trying to overlap the skid marks behind his car to accelerate faster in a so-called speed slide, something we'll see more throughout the tournament. And it is paying dividends here, but very close though. Both teams are just all in a group as we're getting into the second half.
But I do think that it's worth noting that Mime is definitely showing up consistently a car length ahead in the last couple of rounds, making a little bit of a mistake right there, letting Aurel and indeed all of Team BDS catch back up, and it's a free-fall here in the ending. Everybody is gonna be so close. Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna be the most consistent? Are they gonna risk it? Mime in the lead, almost getting overtaken. Elcon falling out. Offie and Aurel are now right behind. Mime wants to maintain that first place. He indeed does it, and it's gonna end up in a tie.
In a tie, that means they both get 1 point each. This is very instructive. We've had all the different outcomes: a victory, an ace, and now a tie. So here we go again into the 4th round of the first map, and I do not remember who actually picked this map, which team it was, but I think BDS are looking the most consistent so far. Question is, though, if they can stop Mime and Elcon when they stop crashing. That's literally all they have to do if they're...
Well, that's so easy to be said, right? Crashing there on the ending is so easy. Like, we've played these maps before ourselves.
They are incredible.
I have not once gotten the ending fully clean. I realize that I'm not a pro player, but it is so incredibly difficult. These players are making the map look easy, but this is one of the hardest maps that you can play.
Yeah, I mean, the map design is literally made to make even pros crash because they want to have action that changes up the pace of things and really pushes players to drive at their limit. And here, Mime and Elcon, again in the top 2, Elcon missing that drift a little bit, now with lower speed before this technical part. But Mime, though, still holding strong. He could get a draw for his team if the positions remain, but the 2 pink drivers are just lying in wait, waiting for a small mistake. We still don't know which line here is the fastest, whether the low airtime for Aurel and Uffy or the jump from Mime will be the fastest. Elcon is trying to catch back up. There's been a respawn from red team. Aurel is out of it. Elcon looking for the ace right now. 1 car length away, but Uffy will remain in second and deny 1 point away from blue, but that's going to tie up the game.
It is going to tie up the game, and I think it was a very, very good attempt there from Elcon to snipe that second place. He really tried to push it to the extent that he was still able to get into the finish, and Afi could definitely feel the pressure there. But he did clutch it out, Afi taking that at least 1 point away from Into the Breach.
And I'm just trying to keep track of times here too. The fastest known time that we had before this tournament started was a 128.7, driven by Dexter, I believe. But these players are already driving 129 lows, so I'm very confident that these players have much faster best times, like personal bests.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to think about how much faster they are in the personal best, because you gotta realize, yeah, these are round modes, which means that they're trying to drive consistently. When you're going for hunting a time, these players send it every single turn, every single speed slide, every single jump. So they are going to be a little bit slower than their PBs, but still incredibly fast.
Oh, look at this speed slide from Elcon. He's going to be so fast, catching up to his teammate across this platform. He is very good at full speed, Elcon. It's his first Trackmania Grand League season, but you might have seen him on Track of the Days, in Cup of the Days. He often wins whenever it is full speed or ice, and that is when he is in his true element. But here in the technical part, Uffy with a mistake. I was going to say maybe he will struggle to keep up, but now blue team are looking very strong. Uffy over 1.5 seconds behind. Aurel really needs to work some magic here to keep BDS's hopes alive.
Aurel will try to snipe this first place away from Elcon. Elcon getting a little bit heavy of a drift. Aurel might be able to pressure here, but Elcon getting even further ahead, and now Mime overtook Aurel, and they're going to look for the ace, and I think they're going to get it.
Oh, that is big. Now just a normal victory would put him on that magical 10, put us to map 2 with Into the Breach in the lead, but it's still not over. BDS would need an ace and a draw as a possible path to victory from this point on.
Yes, once again, remember, it's first to 10, it says so on screen. ITB only 2 points away, BDS 4 points away. First to 10 gets the map victory, 4 maps to win the entire battle.
Yeah, here we go again. Very interesting line from Uffy there in the start. He doesn't value the speed on the uphill and rather just wants to get to the uphill as quick as possible. And that's, again, you know, you can see it here. I think consistently has been about 1/10 of a second in the lead in most rounds. So something that he has found and is able to do consistently. Aurel hitting the grass a bit there on the side, not something you want to do. And now the jump, very low from all the top 3 players, gaining further time to Aurel, but again, it only takes one small mistake from a blue player, and Aurel will be right past them.
Yeah, there's no way that you can slow down even if you're just a little bit behind, because you know just one tiny mistake can lead to a major change. Aurel already getting really close to Elcon here. Once again, he does not go for the speed slide. That might mean that the other players can gain even more time there on Aurel. Elcon looking to pressure Afi and Mime here in the back. He might be playing it safe, just trying to make sure that he gets that 3rd place to give the team the 2 points, because they only need to get to 10. They only need 1st and 3rd to be able to win this map, and it looks like Mime maintains the lead. Afi really needing to counter here. Doesn't look like he is. Gets such a low airtime. Afi really pushing. Is he going to make the jump here? He's jumping down, getting a lot of that penalty grass. It is going to be between Mime and Afi. Who's going to get it?
Afi is on a mission right now. He knows what he needs to do. He has to get this 1st place, but Mime is right there. Only a half a car length, but it's going to be enough to secure the draw. 8-7 or 9-7 now, and we could potentially reach a very interesting scenario, which is the... No, we can't actually.
Oh, no, this is super important for Team BDS. They now put themselves in a situation where if they ace now, they would win the map, right?
But anything else, they lose. They have to get top 2.
Yes. The only way to victory now for Team BDS is to get 1st and 2nd. If they get 1st and 3rd, Into the Breach gets that 1 point they need for the 10 points. And if they tie, Into the Breach also will do it.
They have top 2 right now, and Elcon had a bit of a slower start in this exact round, the decisive round of this map. Aurel and Afi are right up there, but Mime just sandwiched in between, trying to deny them and take the win for themselves. We'll see after the full speed part. Afi had a bad landing right there. Are they going to get the snow edge line into the speed slide here? Elcon going to gain a lot on Aurel. You can see the difference here between speed sliding and not. That was 0.2 of a second, just gone in an instant.
Just gone, absolutely. Elcon now actually overtaken all the way up to first place, and it's looking bleak here for Team BDS. They're gonna try to push it here. Afi overtaking Mime. Aurel and Afi need to overtake Elcon. They're gonna need to hold. Oh, Mime with a mistake. Elcon needs to make a mistake in the ending, or they will still get the point. Elcon really looking for that first place. If they get that first place, that's all they need. Aurel is in the lead. Elcon will try to push it. He's getting a lower jump. He's now going a little bit faster, but Aurel gets it back there. Once again, Aurel needs to keep this.
Elcon can just stay here, though. He can just stay in second, and it's going to be enough into the breach. As long as Mime finishes here, and he will, they take map number 1, 10-9. What a start.
What a start. Very close. 10-9 is as close as it gets, right?
It is. I mean, well, with the exception of the overtime rule, which I hope we can get to see. But we are not holding up here. Let's maybe take a look at some highlights from that match if we have them available. If not, then we're going to go to Gyroscope. Here we can see some of the best rounds. We have Aurel versus Elcon in the ending there. And Aurel going for very low lines, but he did get aced by the blue team. Then we had the round where Afi was getting chased down by Mime. Super close here in that round. Just half a car length. Look at how close that actually was there to the line. And then the last highlight where we again see Afi. I think this one is a repeat, but
still though, you gotta realize just how important it was for them to get that ace there early. That ace made the difference, that 1 point difference. Taking that point away from your opponents is so important.
Yeah, and we are actually underway here on map number 2, Gyroscope. We haven't had time to take a look at it, so let's introduce it now. It is a wild map. This is something you will never see in an official campaign. You won't really see it in Track of the Day, Cup of the Day. This is unique to Trackmania Grand League, and this is just built to be punishing.
Absolutely.
You have bobsleigh loops, ice slides. This has everything.
Just here, as you can see, Elcon slides out, showcasing just how difficult this map can be. Mime also slides out. Then they're gonna enter this dirt section where they're gonna line up their car, get that upper gear, get a low wall ride right here. You want to land as early as possible to get the speed, and then right here the identity where you have to either go sideways or turn fully around with a 360, then do it one more time, 360 coming in here from Aurel, and then another turn into the finish.
It is so crazy that this is the competition track, but the pros are making it work. Like they're making it look easy. I can tell you it is not. This is one of the hardest maps in the game to drive every time, but it's an ace for BDS.
Yes, let's talk about that. That ace is so clutch for Team BDS. 3-0, a great start to the map. That also helps with the mental, knowing that you're already good ahead. You got a good pace going. Now you can either try to save it or push it even harder.
Yeah, and here we can again see this sideways strategy is going to be the fastest for going across the anti-boosters. So in the ending, if you see anyone doing a 360, it is very wicked, but it does lose a little bit of time, and it's actually the safer strategy.
It is, like, going for the 360 is a lot easier than going sideways, because if you just have a little bit of a wrong angle when you go in sideways from the boosters, you're gonna get pushed out of the map.
Yeah, here we go into the ice slide. Mime and Elcon both very fast on ice, but Aurel and Afi are keeping up. They're gonna do this dirt fling here, try to get speed into the next turn. Afi does hold down first place right now for BDS, Aurel in 4th, but there was a mistake from Mime. He's out of it, and now the strategies. All of them going for the sideways, trying to fling back through here. Afi is out of it. Elcon in first for now, but he got pushed off. It's gonna be a double ace.
That is exactly what it is that we mean with it's risky going sideways, because if you don't get the angle, it will just push you out of the map, and that's what just happened to Elcon, giving Team BDS the ace and 6-0 here on the second map.
6-0, that is tough to come back from. Even just a draw, a victory, they're gonna be right up there, just chasing that one match round.
It's looking really dark here for Into the Breach on the second map. Like, they're gonna need to ace back at least once to be even able to get the map win.
But it looks like they have the pace. I mean, Elcon and Mime have been up near first, and they are again in first here in the start of the round. It's just that consistency.
Oh,
Elcon a bit wide on the loop exit, and he will suddenly get caught up to by the red players, but he is holding his own here very well in his first match, and Mime needs now to be that leader for the team with his experience to carry them back and continue their momentum from map 1. They won that map really convincingly. And here, they could continue, but they gotta get this one.
That was a great fling by Elcon. They're doing that fling to set themselves up for the early next gear. Some very, very difficult strategies. Now Mime and Elcon are going into the identity here. Are they both gonna get it? Get it so clean. Elcon actually overtaking his teammate. Mime now needs to keep that second place. It looks like he's right behind here, and they're gonna ace them right back.
And with incredible times, 102.5s. They were clean with that. That was just masterfully done. Looked like a certain guy called Mika was driving on the ice.
Oh, absolutely. What a famous name to throw out there. And I think it's really interesting to see that we've had nothing but aces in this map as of yet.
Yep. No, that is maybe how this one is going to turn out, just because of the mistakes, because of the volatility of Gyroscope. There's a lot of memes around this map in the pro circuit because
as you can see here, they also enter a engine off block, which also turns off. Did you know this? Turns off the engine of the car. Yeah, no problem. I got you.
Thank you for that piece of information. As we see RL losing a little bit of speed on the ice, Offie will be able to catch up into the top 3, and here things could get very interesting if red team suddenly get an ace and they go up to 3-9, but RL will unfortunately crash and put that dream on hold. Now it is blue team with an opportunity to capitalize on red team's mistakes, going up in for another ace. Jnic, this could be the 4th ace of this map.
Oh, Dodgers, he got it! He got it! That was so close. We're talking 1/100ths of a second separating Mime and Afi, but they did get the ace back. It's now 6-6, and all of a sudden, it doesn't look that bad for Into the Breach. They have the momentum, they had the double ace, and now they're looking for a triple.
Yeah, if they get the 3 in a row, the hat trick, that would certainly put this map on its head. I thought, you know, BDS was looking dominant on this, but Into the Breach have come to play, and they have really built up consistency across the last 4 rounds now, going from crashing to clean runs. Can they build on top of that?
Actually, one thing that we haven't actually mentioned that I think is worth mentioning: the players' car skins are based on the team they're driving. So if you're looking at somebody and you can see the car skin, you know which team they're playing for. And I think these car skins all look amazing.
Yeah, they look beautiful. I think this is a brand new design here for BDS that we haven't seen before. Elcon, I don't think we have his skin loaded, unfortunately, but it is red at least, so it matches Mime's in terms of color. So we're going into the ending. Will it be the ace for Into the Breach again? Look at the times they're driving. They're beating red team by 0.6. Offie and RL struggling to keep up, but they are driving so close to their own limit that this is going to be risky. Mime across the bridge. Did Elcon make it on the other side? He did, and wow.
0.7.
102.2 and 0.3.
Yeah, like, oh, and they're 2 seconds ahead, but 0.7 going into that ending. They were definitely showing up that round. 9-6 now. Team BDS actually needs to ace it now to be able to come back, because anything short of an ace will give Into the Breach at least 1 point and another map victory.
It would. This is ace or bust here, and you go down 2-0 in maps. You have a very tough path back to potentially win this game, so really important round now for BDS, and it's hard to really diagnose what's going wrong for them. I think it's in that middle part after the ice is where they lose a lot of time, the dirt fling especially.
Yeah.
One trick that people might not know is that if you tap brake while the dirt fling is happening, you gain more speed. And Elcon and Mime are really good at getting those brake taps for that speed boost.
But it's also a little bit risky. You can end up sliding out if you brake just a little bit too much. We see them go in for it right now. You can see those brake taps. They fling them just a little bit ahead. Aurel now in the lead. Afi right behind Elcon, and he just needs to overtake one time to get this ace. But Elcon is going really, really fast. Aurel trying to push it, but he gets pushed out the map, and Elcon is now in the lead. If Elcon gets anything but 3rd place, they will take home another map victory, and he gets it Into the Breach, taking 2 maps down.
Oh, and he dunks him with a 102.1 production. Perhaps we could have a look at the Gyroscope leaderboards before the game. I think that's close to what was the publicly known world record ahead of the game. Into the Breach, though, looking really good here in their first games. Here we have the leaderboards on display, and you can see that, yeah, 102.1 was the publicly known world record by Massa. And Elcon is able to match that in-game, in the match,
in rounds,
on the server.
It is crazy. But that's what we're talking about. Even though Elcon is a fresh face in the esports scene.
We have some replays from that game, some moments that we look back at. We're starting with the double ace here for Mime, where he was barely able to get it by just 100th ahead. And then now we are seeing the warm-up of back and forth. I think we're going to focus on this. A very interesting map here, Jnic, where they have to drive backwards.
Yeah, driving backwards in the start with a reaction booster, so they stick themselves to the wall. And also, the reason the map is called back and forth is because at the ending of the map, there's also a whole long backwards section, which is going to be really, really risky. And we're going to probably see Elcon and Mime trying to push that section as well.
I have played against Elcon in backwards tournaments. He is really good at backwards, and particularly backwards speed sliding, which is an obscure Trackmania mechanic. But everyone's had time to practice this. You see a 360 in the middle of the map here. This is one of the most wicked parts. Afi has gotten off to a great start here, though, for BDS. He knows the job he has to do now. It's a long way back in the match. But if he can get his team off to a good start on back and forth, then that could do it. This is the identity of back and forth. Driving backwards now, you have to weave between the checkpoints and the pillars.
Right here.
Full speed, and then up to the finish line. Into the triangle there.
That is such a tight line. I've played this map, you've played this map. The flicks you have to do, left-right flicks, to just weave in between those pillars are so difficult, especially if you're on a controller. It's one of the few places where I would say that keyboard players actually have the advantage.
Maybe it is indeed so. I mean, the car is so heavy backwards at that speed with reactor that you have to predict like 2 seconds in the future when you start pressing turn, it feels like. But a good start for BDS, though. Afi very strong on this map. 2-1. Now a new start for Arel as well. See if he can keep up with his teammate. And we will see if Into the Breach can keep their momentum going from the previous two maps. Here, the 360 once again. This is just the optimal way to pass that corner. Thus, give you enough grip and a good line to continue. And that's why they go for it. And so far, everyone's gotten it.
It was purposely built into the map with that wall there, and now we're entering the identity
once more there.
Mime in the lead, but everybody's so close to each other. Mime and Elcon trying to get that ace, though, but Afi is defending really, really well. He's currently in the lead, weaving through these pillars. Is he going to be able to get the final uphill? Mime trying to overtake, and it does look like he gets it, but Afi coming back without the airtime.
Oh, he went further on the hill to stay grounded and keep accelerating a little bit more, and that's why BDS stay ahead on this map. So many small details like this in Trackmania Esport that give you a few extra hundredths, enough to win rounds, and that's what the beauty of the game really is about. Just these tiny optimizations that players can come up with.
Yeah, once again, if you didn't see it, it was because Afi maintained ground contact and was able to accelerate all the way into the finish, where Mime tried to jump straight in there. It was just enough to inch that victory out, and he's now in the lead again.
Big mistake from Arel this round. Afi again gonna have to hold the fort, get first place, try to secure a draw. That is the best outcome right now for BDS, as the Into the Breach players are really, they have nothing to lose. They can send one person, just go all in. If he fails, they're still gonna get a draw, most likely. Elcon chasing, it is 2/10, but we've seen Afi do this, ending perfectly in the first 3 rounds. Will he get the 4th one? Hold on, there's Mime coming through with a good end. But Afi is
there is something peaceful and poetic about driving backwards when it's so quiet. Because you don't hear the car really go up gears or anything. It's just kind of cruising backwards, and you just see the players weave perfectly in between the pillars. It's a great sight.
You know, maybe cars should have been driven backwards from the beginning. I'm a big fan of backwards driving. I think it's a good style. Maybe we should just make that the official way of playing Trackmania. Then that would be one of the best. That would not be bad.
Oh my god, yeah, surely. I think we have more than enough backwards here on back and forth, where it really gets to showcase that you need to know every single aspect about the game to be able to compete on the highest level.
Big start here for BDS. They need something here, a breakaway. These rounds being just, you know, 1 point between the two teams continuously is nerve-wracking, especially when you're 2 maps down. An ace here would do so well for them, but for that, Arel is going to have to pass Elcon in this identity. Mime, 7 seconds behind, out of the fight. Afi likely to hold first, although saying that, Elcon is faster just by a little bit. He's going to weave through. Arel coming up into the frame. Is he going to get that low air time?
That is so unfortunate for Arel. He could have sniped it right there, taking the ace for Team BDS, but Elcon safing it into the finish, making sure that they don't get those full 3 points.
Yeah, Elcon has to be given credit to him as well for defending there and staying ahead. Not sure if RL would have had it if he went into the finish, but this BDS line of reducing airtime there looks promising. I'm questioning if other teams might have come up with it.
See, that's the thing, right? The other teams, they're gonna know all the strategies of the players that are playing now, so they can utilize those later in case they didn't see them themselves, especially that bump there on the first map.
Yeah, indeed. And here there's some bug slides, by the way, if you haven't seen them, but it is a mechanic they will use on that plastic, wet plastic, ice sliding coming through here. The maps really try to make the players master every single mechanic. Onto the grass now. BDS with a chance to go up to 9 if the positions remain. And ITB left a little bit on the back foot on this map. They are not looking as dominant as on the previous map. When they
no, but Mime has to attack right now. He's got to make sure to cancel that ace coming in. He gets it. Mime getting really, really close to Aurel here. Is he going to be able to snap with an inside line? No, push it a little bit too far. And then that's going to be the ace coming in here for Team BDS.
This is looking a lot better all of a sudden for the French-speaking players. Afi and Aurel from Switzerland and France. Alcon and Mime from Poland and Czechia. One draw here would do it and put them very well so back in the match to a 2-1 scoreline.
See, the only way into the breach can get this map win is by getting 2 aces in a row now. Anything short of 2 aces, Team BDS wins.
Yeah, as if they... Oh, speaking of that, Alcon clipping the corner here. They really cannot afford to drop any position, so they have to beat the 2 BDS players every time. This looks very rough, though.
Yeah, and the thing is, the BDS players, they are able to see the checkpoint time, so they know they're more than a second ahead. And Mime also with a slight mistake, getting a lot of airtime there. And it does look really, really dark here. 4 into the breach. But on the bright side, Afi and Aurel can get their first map win.
Yeah, and just, I mean, in real life, right, 1 second seems like nothing, but at the pro level of Trackmania, 1 second is an eternity. If you're 1.5 seconds behind, that is like cruising, eyes closed, safe pace, and it's very hard to mess up for them that amount of leads. We have seen it happen, but it's not going to happen here. BDS takes map 3.
With an ace on top of that. Great showing here from Team BDS on back and forth, and we're going to jump into map number 4.
Yeah, and I think Afi almost won every round on that map. We might have to check back if it was exactly every round, but he was up there a lot. This is a scary map against BDS.
Taking a look at some of the replays here. One of the replays where we had a very, very tight ending between Mime and Afi, where Afi just got the lead there.
That is beautiful, beautiful snipe. Curious if any other teams has that strategy. We're hopping on to the next map. We're going to reps. Let's take a quick look at the map preview for reps. This one, the identity might not be explaining what it's all about, but there are many thin beams here that the players drive on, and that is what the map's identity is.
It is, and also the identity might not look super flashy or super wicked, but it is so difficult. Like, I've tried this, it took me a full 15 minutes to get it once.
And it has a risky finish that we will see too, but it starts with sausage blocks. You drift around here, you want to stay on the top side of this so that you can reduce airtime down, setting up for the drift going up, and then you're going to drop down onto the grass.
Yes, and here we are going to see some different platforms that they're going to initiate drifts on into a jump left-handed dirt turn where they don't want to lose the gear. Two different approaches, one going wide, one going inside.
Oh, that is such a good line from the Into the Breach players. They went from 3rd and 4th to 1st and 2nd with the outside dirt line, something they've come up with. There are dirt couple of days where Alcon and Mime will dominate because of their prominence on dirt maps. And here into the loop, some players choose to go diagonally to gain a bit more speed, keep a bit more ground contact. But we are coming up to the ending of reps here. They're going to go across the penalty grass, try to stay in 3rd gear, all players getting it here, and then the jumps begin. We're going to start with a jump onto the beam, line up for a downhill drift here across the next beam, and then the jump into the finish. Mime ahead of Afi, Alcon, and Aurel in 4th. All players within 3 tenths.
I gotta admit to you, I did not think it was gonna be that clean by all the players.
You were just waiting.
I was just waiting to see them fail, and none of them did. They've been practicing so much, but you saw just how little of a wiggle room they had on the speed to make it to those beams.
The beams are just barely wider than the car itself. You have essentially a car width space to work with.
Yes.
And you have to do that at 400 speed in a high pressure situation against the other best players in the world, where if you lose 10 hundredths, you are likely losing the round. It is crazy to execute that. But see this again. Afi and Aurel are going for an inside line, getting that consistently, but Mime and Elcon, they go wide on the dirt turn, get more speed down.
Oh, Aurel with a slow down there, letting Elcon and Mime fight with Afi alone here in the lead. Mime currently just a car length ahead of Afi, and he needs to hold that for the team to get the 2 points. Afi is trying to equalize, making this round a draw, going into the last left-hander before we see the identity. Once again, getting that third gear on the downhill is what they want. No airtime here, and then it's just a few jumps for Mime and Elcon to take this 2-pointer home. Afi, will he be able to deny? Afi losing a lot of speed here. Elcon overtaken, and Mime and Elcon will get the ace.
It's an ace for Into the Breach. 5-1 now. Great ending there from Mime and Elcon to overtake Afi and Aurel. And when they have that start and they also have that end, you really need to see a strong mid part here from Red Team if they are to be competitive, because Mime and Elcon are looking so strong in this.
And talking about that middle part, actually Mime and Elcon have a great middle part with that dirt line that Afi and Aurel are not going for, where they get just a little bit more speed on the uphill before the tight drift. So Aurel and Afi have a lot on their plate now, and I think they can still clutch it out as we see the Afi in the lead, Aurel just a little bit behind. Elcon and Mime making a mistake. Elcon is now going to try to see if he can deny Team BDS that ace.
This goes right back to what we talked about going into the match. I am so sure that if Afi and Aurel found the snow line on the full speed map, they definitely found this outside dirt line. But they are playing for consistency. They're not playing to go super risky.
Yeah.
They're just trying to drive clean runs every round and secure points. And here, when Mime makes a mistake, it makes it possible for BDS to capitalize. And maybe they could even get an ace if Aurel is able to pass Elcon here in the ending, across the reps, across the beams. Good speed for Aurel to try to get past.
Ooh, Elcon hitting that finish pole. So unfortunate, giving Team BDS the ace. You hate to see it, but it can happen. As you said, the beams, they are so narrow, so difficult to land on, and unfortunately, Elcon face plants.
And again, we go into a shouldn't have been, I think, a very close map after 5-1, but it's 5-4 now, and it's right even. Like, any team could take this. 2 aces for either team, and they win.
Yes, true. 2 aces for either team, and that way they're kind of equal. And aces, of course, as we've said multiple times, 3 points. So let's see Mime and Elcon once again going for that wide line, losing a little bit of time, but then gaining it back from the speed, the momentum they get out of that turn. Mime now in the lead, Aurel right behind. Aurel fighting with Elcon, actually driving on top of each other. And Elcon trying to get a little bit more, but actually loses about 0.2 of a second. And Mime is now the only person who can deny another ace coming in from Team BDS.
Elcon is trying to hold on. He got a very good loop line, very good downhill line as well. He's right on the tail there, and Mime is just barely ahead of the 2 pink cars. Whoa, both players clipping here. Aurel and Elcon are out. Afi into the lead ahead of Mime, who made a mistake. Bit of a scramble in the end here. Aurel will secure third and give the match a tie now.
Yeah, they're going 6-6. This is interesting because none of the teams are able to close down the map this round. So we're actually gonna, unless we have an ace, we're gonna see what is probably going to be a final round after this one.
Let's see what will happen. We are starting out once again. It's incredible to me that Mime and Elcon are willing to make this outside dirt line happen in live rounds. It gains maybe at most 0.10 of a second if they execute it perfectly, and they risk throwing the entire round if both players crash it. But they are so comfortable with going that wide on the dirt line and trusting that the car will get the grip that it will pay off. But you can see Elcon here, he has made a mistake. He makes another mistake, and now the pink cars are marching forwards, approaching. Mime right there finds himself in a bit of a sticky situation. He's gonna have to win this round to make things better for ITB. If not, it's looking very well.
He's gonna have to deny in the ending. Only 0.1 of a second separating the players. Mime 17 thousandths away from Afi. They're gonna fight it out here in the ending, getting a little more exit speed. Is he gonna be able to make the final 2 jumps? Afi trying to get it back here, but Mime getting such a good line, jumping into the finish.
Oh, he almost failed it.
He almost did.
Failed it,
he almost
did
the same thing as Elcon did before, but Mime and Elcon actually creeping up to 3rd place there, so Into the Breach gets the 2 points. But now either team can close it out. Team BDS, if they get an ace, they get the map victory. Into the Breach, if they get the first and third place, they will get the max
standard victory. They could get it, yeah.
The only way we actually see another round is if we see a tie.
That is true. Or a victory for BDS, we go to 9-9, could maybe happen.
No.
It could not. I'm not sure.
A victory from Team BDS would give them 10 points.
I am not sure. We will see what unfolds. Outside line for Elcon. He hits it this time. No mistakes. And that is the two blue players up into first and second. Afi, though, really close. But Aurel here is struggling to keep up in the first couple of turns. Trying to find a better drift right now into the reactor dirt downhill. Diving deep here. This is going to give him less speed for the loop. But Afi is trying all he can to hold down first. A tie, as you said, would keep their hopes alive a little bit longer. But Elcon is right there. Mime is right there. Only one of them need to beat him. The other player can get third. They're both going to push it, though. Afi right there on the beam. Mime falling off. Elcon missing the finish. And Afi keeps them in it. It's going to be 9-9.
It's going to be 9-9. And this is where we can actually talk about that overtime that we haven't mentioned yet. On the off chance that we see a tie, both teams will get to 10 points at the same time. Then we go into overtime, effectively playing matches until one team gets ahead.
A draw here would just make us play another round. It's basically sudden death at this point. We need a decisive victory for either side. They know how much this matters. If Into the Breach go up to 3-1, that could be the game as a whole. And if BDS gets this one, we could have a 7-game series, which we'd all love to see, I think. See more Trackmania on the day, see how all the teams are really prepared across all maps. Mime not going for the line anymore. Has not been feeling too confident on it. Decides to go for the inside line. Elcon, though, making it work, going up into first. And they have top 2 right now. But again, you gotta appreciate the consistency of these players. We point out mistakes when they happen, but they are driving very difficult maps time and time again. No. But the pressure might have gotten to Afi here. He hit the checkpoint on the inside line. Aurel needs first. It's the only way to deny Into the Breach from going up to 3-1, and they are both 2 tenths ahead. This is going to take a miracle.
Yeah, Elcon and Mime on super strong positions. Mime actually flying out, giving the other team the possibility of overtaking him. If they both can do it, we enter another draw, and we actually enter another draw, going for another round. It looked like Elcon and Mime had it, but unfortunately, that mistake from Mime made them come back.
I thought it was over. Wait,
yeah,
I got baited. I thought it was over after Elcon got first, but since Mime got last, we're doing another round.
And we can't complain about that. 10-10, we're in overtime, sudden death. Which team is gonna come out on top? Afi, Aurel, or is it gonna be Mime and Elcon Into the Breach versus Team BDS going into overtime?
Oh, Aurel has hit the wall. He is 4 tenths behind the others right now. 8 tenths make that with the exit speed. Elcon on the wide line, he gets it. Mime has now started going for the consistency. So that is a really good adaptation mid-match. Knows both lines, decides which one should be used. And here, it is all really on Afi. His teammate has made a mistake, and he's counting on Afi now to try to get first place. He is very good at the ending here, Afi, and he did win earlier rounds in the match. Can he fend off the 2 ITB players across the beams?
Yes, getting actually ahead right now. He needs to maintain that lead. Is he going to be able to do it? If he gets this jump, he does get it. One more jump, and Afi will once again put it into another round. It looks like he does it, and it's going to be another round, another overtime, 11-11.
Double overtime, and now, you know, it's...
The nerves, dude, the nerves. Let us hear it in chat. Who are you voting for? Is it going to be ITB? Is it going to be BDS going into a 3rd overtime?
Such an interesting match already. They know how important this map is for the overall series, the best of 7. And Aurel gets a second chance here. He made a mistake. His teammate covered for him. Now he needs to prove his worth to his teammate and deliver a clean round for BDS. If they just get first and third, they would secure a victory. The outside dirt line, and Elcon gonna get it. Elcon gets it good. And although he looks far behind the speed here, he gets right back to the field. It's an equal round.
Yeah, and now all of them, they're within 2 tenths of each other, and we're nearing the ending of the map. Afi and Mime in the lead, Aurel and Elcon just a little bit behind. Just a first and third would make you win. Or first and second, and Elcon makes a mistake.
Elcon into the wall. Now Mime needs to win the round to save his team once again. We need a savior here for ITB. Can Mime do it this time? Last time it was Uffy that played the hero. Now Mime going for perfect beams. He jumps onto the first one, lands in the drift, gets good exit speed, down the transition, and he will jump into the finish.
There is no way, dude. That is crazy. Another overtime. I cannot imagine like the heart rate of the players right now. It has to beat so fast.
You got plans tonight, Jnic? We might have to reschedule some evening plans if this keeps going. I don't mind it though, because this is super exciting. What a start to the Trackmania Grand League season. And now really the pressure is building. Who's going to take it off into the wall, I think, in that fragile turn, and it is going to break his car all the way up until this point. 0.3 of a second loss, Jnic.
Yeah, it's looking rough there for Afi, but Aurel has shown us that he's able to save all his way up to third and first and save the team. Mime though in the lead. Aurel going really wide, almost clipping there, but he is still in it. They're so close to each other into the breach, looking to close it out right now.
They're just chasing Aurel. We can't have another hero, could we? Is it Aurel's time to deny ITV and put us to the quad overtime? That is, I think, a hard record to beat for the season. Mime right there. He had a fantastic end last time. Aurel, he is going to probably try to rev a bit safer and secure the first place. This could be Mime, though, pushing to get back. But it could also cost the match.
He's going to overtake.
And ITV will lose. BDS wins the game there as Mime makes a mistake on the beams. And GG's, we're going to 2-2.
Yes, each team now has 2 map victories. Team BDS getting 14 points there into the breach, getting 13, 2-2. That is such an important victory for Team BDS.
If I was production here, I wouldn't even know where to begin with highlights. That map had everything, but let's maybe look back at a couple. We see this one, the battle between Mime and Aurel here in the ending. Mime just a little bit wide, and a mistake we actually saw him make a few times on that map, so something he might need to work on, but that was a great map to see reps. Very curious to see how other teams will play it later on. Right now, we are on Slippery Slides.
Slippy Slides.
Slippy Slides.
Slippy Slides. And the map name definitely tells you a story about the map, because we have some very slippery sections, especially in the ending of this map, but also in the start as the players, they drive into some water right here, and the car can easily slide out.
Yeah, this is tricky. This is just very tricky, and it's also tricky in a very cryptic way. So you might look at this and think, oh wow, amateurs, I can't believe they crashed if it happens. But it is just so annoyingly difficult to drive. Oh, and we see Mime lagging a little bit, I believe. We will get an update on what that is, if it is a disconnect. Looks like he is still driving, just the server syncing us back up, so we're all good. And now we can see the rest of the round. Elcon, Uffy, tied basically for first place. Aurel lying in wait, and we're coming up to the very interesting identity on this track, Jnic.
Yes, the identity on this one. Well, first we're gonna get a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a foresight to see what it looks like. The players are gonna jump down here into what is called a buck slide, get really high grip on that plastic to get the turnaround, and now we're going into the identity to take us through it.
Yeah, prepare for this. The players are again gonna use the bug slide just in a really wicked way. High-speed bug slide, line up for the next one with a bumper, another bug slide here, line up for the next one, and a third. And this is just so difficult. Uffy, though, clean in the first round, and Aurel will be able to get second. That's an ace.
Yes. And just once again to clarify for the people that might be new to the scene here, a bug slide is what we call when you land in a 90-degree angle and then get a lot of grip, even though your car shouldn't have had it.
Yeah, it is a really useful mechanic. At first, it was only used for like shortcuts and stuff, but it's become an officially added mechanic. It's not a bug, it's the feature slide, I guess you could call it. It's a feature
slide, yeah. But the name has stuck.
The name is stuck around, and we love bug slides. They do add a lot of dynamics to the game, so very fun to see them in use now in the official maps. Several occasions.
Several occasions, not just for this World Tour, but for previous TMDLs, we've seen bug slides multiple times, so definitely a staple of the game now.
Look at this, the 2 BDS players. It's so interesting to see the teams themselves drive the same lines, because of course they practice the maps together, and BDS's lines in the start there looks to gain about a 10th consistently in these first 2 rounds.
And that is scary when you are into the breach. They already got aced once, and being behind there in the start is super scary already. All the players landing in a great bug slide once again, lining it up here for the engine off block and into the identity. Team BDS in the lead. Can they maintain it? Unfortunately, Aurel slides out, and Elkan and Mime have to capitalize on that mistake, getting second and third to tie it up.
Yeah, it's hard to tell who's really ahead here, but Mime has more speed than Offie, and he will get that by just 1100. Speed often a deciding factor there, not so much the trajectory. And a 111.7 is a very good time as well. Now, good points for ITV.
Yes, 2-4. BDS is in the lead, looking good. This map will be very important to win, as it will put you to 3 points, just 1 point away from getting the victory, and that is important mental to have against your opponents.
I'm just checking my script here, Danny, and according to it, we are going to go to map 7, so does it really matter which team wins this one?
That is true, I forgot.
Maybe I've gotten the wrong notes. Actually, hang on.
Yes,
Could be that they sent me the wrong one, but that's what I've been told. You're in for a great opener match here, and let's just see which way it unfolds. Again, look at this starting line from BDS, or more particularly Offie here. He is really dominating those first couple of drifts, and then here, unfortunately, went a little wide. Mime and Alcon now get their time in the limelight up ahead, and Aurel really needs to make something happen as Offie's too far. Bug slide happens into a little bit of an ice slide. Get out, catch the car with full grip, and then the water part and the identity. Here we go again on the slides.
Yeah, will Into the Breach be able to hold that first and second place, getting the ace back from Team BDS? Aurel is trying to push it really hard with these inside lines, actually overtaking Mime right there. Only one more person ahead, but Mime getting just a little bit of a tighter turn in the ending. Aurel, unfortunately, has to concede the point, and Into the Breach gets the ace.
A very important thing to notice about the ending there is that it is possible to turn your car too much sideways before it lands. If you land in like a 110-degree angle, if you can picture that, instead of a 90-degree angle, it will not bug slide. You are too much sideways, you will just fall off the map. So they are really trying to get as close to the best sharp sideways angle as possible without sliding out. And Alcon here, big mistake in the start. Now a lot of pressure on Mime to get first place.
But we also see Aurel with a small mistake. Elkan is 2.5 seconds behind though, so it does look like he's going to be out of this match unless we see, as you said, somebody slide out in the ending. But Aurel and Mime still fighting for that first and second place. Both of them going for a great entrance into the transition right there, avoiding any of the slides with the wet tires. And Mime now maintaining that lead, looking to get into a nice line here in the bug slide. Mime actually going super wide while Aurel goes way tighter. Aurel looks to gain a little bit of time because of that, and now they're going to be neck and neck going into the identity.
Very tough trajectory to say for Aurel. Gonna cost a bit of time there, just slowing down, and that's the thing I was talking about. If you turn too much sideways, like Aurel did there, you will lose grip. Mime up ahead, you can see his name tag. It's going to finish in a 111.3. We got Offie in second, Aurel in third, it seems, and Alcon in fourth. So we have a draw, despite a very chaotic round.
Yeah, 8 seconds separating first and last. You can see these maps are definitely not easy. Even professional players, they will crash not once, not twice, but 3 times in one round, sometimes just because the maps are that difficult.
Yeah, they are devious, these maps that they're playing, and despite the best skilled players in the game, you're still going to see some mistakes, but that's also because, and this is important to understand, they cannot drive safe. If you try to just make sure you never crash on this map and drive like a 115, you're gonna lose anyways. At that point, it's faster to risk and crash.
Yeah, you don't have the option to save anyways. Even if you're ahead by half a second, if you save too much, especially in the ending or something, you're gonna get overtaken.
So it's about finding consistency and pace, a good balance, and picking your spots to risk. Picking the spots where you are accepting the possibility of crashing for potentially gaining something. That is the true art of this for these players, and they know their limits so well. They know exactly where the walls are at all times, and that's why we see them being so comfortable, going so close to the walls. Mime again ahead. He had a fantastic run last round, 111.37. I think he's on pace to beat that right now. One bad bug slide out from Aurel there. Offie still keeping up though, but a good opportunity for Alcon to overtake into the finish. Almost 400s there, but 111.32. Mime on this map, I would be scared to face him.
Oh.
We are getting word from production that beats the publicly known world record before going into the match.
What an incredible time then. Imagine beating the public. Oh, a mistake already. This is really, really crucial because Into the Breach, anything short of a tie will give Into the Breach the victory and the third map win.
Yeah, but Mime just crashed to start. He went from world record to crash, which is a classic that we see sometimes from these high-paced players. You get a good run, you're feeling great, you're taking even more risks, and then it goes wrong. So 2 seconds lost there. BDS could get an ace here and go up to 9-8, really putting a spanner in the works for ITV. They could suddenly snatch this map away.
They could, and they're looking to do it. They're more than a second ahead of third place here. Elcon with a small mistake. Mime overtaking once again. 2 seconds behind first place. It looks like Aurel and Afi can actually save this all the way to the finish.
They just gotta not slide out. So here again, you can pick an angle under 90 degrees. You cannot pick an angle much over 90 degrees. The actual limit is right around 100. It's not too important. Just fully sideways, but not too much. Land in a safe bug slide. Same thing here. Land in a safe bug slide, and then the third one, if they get it, they will be in the lead in the match. 9-6 now for BDS.
And those were some very conservative, safe lines coming in right there. You could see they did not land in that critical angle where you go as tight as possible. They did give themselves some leeway because they knew they were more than a second ahead.
Yeah, they are clearly communicating this, like, this is how we're going to play this round. They were aware of their surroundings, and we are in potentially the last round of this map. Only not even a draw would save it. This is going to end it right here for either team.
Well, we could go into a draw.
Oh, we could go into a
if ITB gets first and third, then both teams would end up in 10 points.
Mime with a mistake early, though, making that an unlikely scenario. At this point, it is hard to see Elcon how he could win it. He's just going to try to drive as fast as possible and hope the stars align.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because even if Elcon gets first, Team BDS still takes the map win. We need to see Mime get up to third at the very minimum.
And Mime has to catch up to one player, but are Uffy and Aurel going to let it happen? Are they just going to go for the safe bug slide angles that we talked about? If they can land those, then they are sure to go up to 3 out of 4 maps won. That could be massive. Here into the bug slides, Elcon kind of a nuisance. They just need to beat Mime. That's all they're looking for. The blue name tag of Elcon is kind of irrelevant in this round. Can they just survive? Uffy survives, Aurel survives, and BDS wins map number 5.
Yes, and I mean, as you said, the script does say we need to play at least 2 more maps, so we already know what's gonna happen next. But yeah, I think, was this the 3rd time in a row BDS won a map? They went from
0-2 to 3-2.
Yeah, that just goes to show that if you push some people a little extra, they will push back.
And now you start to see how important that triple overtime map was.
Yeah.
Yes, if they didn't win that map, this could look very different, because they'd still have to win 2 more maps in the match. At this point, if they win Parkour, the next coming map, then they are the winners. Some highlights playing, by the way, as we're talking. Seeing that round, that was very close for Afi.
Yeah, that was a crazy line coming in from Afi right here. But taking you through Parkour, the reason for the map name here is there's a lot of fun jumps, a lot of risky jumps, especially in the ending. A little parkour-ish. I think it's a great map name, like utilizing just what it is.
I am very excited about this map. It reminds me a lot of a map we had last season called Tiny Gap, which has a lot of these jumps, some quarter pipes, and it's really just about controlling your car in the air here. You will see a lot of strategies like air brakes, where they try to land early in a set angle. You will see this ice drop down here where you need to control the exact ice slide angle you land in.
This is difficult.
It is very difficult to get that line cleanly.
And then they come over to a jump here where they want to get as low of an air time as possible. They're going for the straightest line from one wall to the other, and then a low line here on a bobsleigh where it's pretty easy. You can see that right there. Pretty easy to get it slide out.
And this is the ending. There is a strategy here that we have seen from some players where they will try to get the upper gear. Elcon has it. He's just faster than Uffy throughout this entire ending now, because the gear, but he misses the landing, clips the platform. Aurel is clipped as well. Uffy will take a guaranteed win, and Mime went from 4th to 2nd in those last moments. And it's going to be Elcon in third.
I don't know if you saw what Elcon did right there. It would be great to see it again if we get that to happen in a later round. But what he did, he landed on 2 wheels at the top there, right before the identity, which pushed the 2 other wheels down. So he kept ground contact throughout that uphill, which gave him that gear that you were talking about.
Yeah, so the gear shifting in the game is automatic, and the way it works is that it is based on your RPM. If you preserve a certain amount of speed, the car will avoid shifting down. So the general rule is that if you have 4th gear, you're over 200 speed, you can see it in the bottom right, then you will hold that gear and you will accelerate faster in that gear later. If you drop under 200, then you will lose it. And it is very difficult to keep it there, but it saves a lot of time, so some magical numbers to watch out for. There's also a strategy we haven't seen yet that exists in the ending, a side flip that some players might go for.
Oh.
Here we go though, into the uphill dirt. Afi ahead of Mime. Can they keep 200 on this landing? Looks like, actually it is 160 in 3rd gear, I am mistaken, but the gear still applies. Elcon missing the jump again, respawn for him, and now the side flip, no one going for it, unfortunately, in this match. We're starting out with 2
When you say side flip, you're talking about a barrel roll, where the players will get a low airtime, land early, and get, like, I would say it probably saves like 0.3 or something.
I will say in the final matches tonight, I think we're going to see it because Massa for Team Berlin International Gaming has been practicing it on stream, showing that it is viable. It saves a couple attempts.
Showcasing something like that on stream is
pretty wild.
But it's a Chad move. That's what it is.
It's like, yeah, these are my strats. Feel free to copy them. You still won't beat me. We'll see how it works out. Oh, big crash for Mime on that corner. Wheel made contact. And this could be a big opportunity for BDS. 2 draws so far, but maybe Elcon can make it a 3rd, or even, you know...
Yeah, but there you see Afi going super low in the wall ride. Elcon. Oh, Aurel with a mistake, and Mime now possibly able to come back. Aurel has no speed. The momentum will carry Mime up to 3rd place maybe, but it's gonna be between Elcon and Afi here up at the top, going through the identity. Will Elcon be able to make it this time? Afi having a little bit more speed, almost overtaken. Is he gonna be able to do it? Elcon with low airtime, and it looks like Elcon is gonna take it all the way into the finish. It's gonna be Elcon first, Afi 2nd, Aurel trying to get 3rd, but Mime might overtake straight into a pillar.
Straight into the cone at the end there. We are having another tie. We might have to reschedule some plans, indeed.
Yeah, this might take a little longer than we expected, but as you guys know, there's nothing better on like this Saturday evening to sit and watch some really high-level esports, so I can't complain.
I cannot complain either. I think it's so exciting, the changes they've made. It turns it into a team sport instead of a single-player game. You really get to see how they work together in rounds where there's some stake from the other team, where they need to risk, etc. So much new dynamics that are at play in this 2v2 format.
But really even a 3-3, it might actually pressure Into the Breach more than it pressures Team BDS, because BDS is fine with tying right now, because they only need this map win. Into the Breach, they need to be ahead now. They need to get these aces down. They need Mime to stay on first, but he doesn't make it.
They would love to make a breakaway in points, but BDS could be the ones to do it first here, to break this chain of ties if they do it here in the uphill. Big mistakes from Into the Breach, although there is a lot of speed there for Mime as he overtakes Aurel, maybe denying the ace, but Afi is way too far to deny here, I would imagine. Or are we gonna have another tie? Oh, that is close. That is very close. Afi between Aurel and...
Elcon going for the side flip. The barrel roll doesn't make it, trying to snipe in the ending, but that was the strategy that Wirtual talked about just a second ago, trying to go super far right.
Is he gonna finish here? 5 seconds left. The 2 respawns. 3 seconds left on the clock. He's not gonna get there. And it will still be a tie in a situation like that, 4-4. But wow, that is dramatic. If you fail like that, and let's say it's you know, 2-on-1, that could be even worse.
Oh, absolutely. But I think what Elcon did right there is also a really good showcase of how players will change strategies on the fly if they know they have to push it.
Yeah, indeed. He tried to get the flip to beat Afi in the final, and I'm sure that is actually Mime communicating. to Alcon.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get the
And
flip
they
here
know
to
how the
win that
point
1v1.
system works,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he was like, either I get this and we get one more point, or I don't get it and we tie anyway.
We tie anyway, yeah.
Right? So there's no bad thing about risking that ending at that point.
Afi and Mime top 2 here. Arel right there in third. Good speed for Alcon across the bobsleigh, though. Very good at that surface. Now the ending. Is he going to be able to do the flip here in a live round? Is he going to dare to try to snipe Afi and get first? Otherwise, it could be a tie. Is Alcon fancying it here? He has more speed. He's overtaking just with his normal lines. Is he going to set up for it? No, he's going for the normal jump. Still fully understandable there. That will be enough for first. And Afi will get second. Mime third. Arel fourth.
A very clean round coming in from all the players. 0.3 separating them, and all of them made the identity look great there. But I do think if we take a look at Elcon next time we get to that identity again, he is getting that full ground contact throughout the uphill, and that is what pushed him just ahead of Afi once again.
Yeah, the third gear landing, not the fourth gear. Mistake from earlier. Third gear landing there will do it throughout the season for Elcon and other players if they can manage. But BDS have consistently beat Into the Breach in the start, I would say. In most rounds, you find either Afi or Arel ahead. And the reason why is a little bit unknown. It could be the quarter pipe jump itself here. If they just dare to jump a little lower. This time, though, the roles are reversed with Mime and Alcon up there in the bobsleigh. Alcon doing the bobsleigh really well last time. And you might see him, yeah, you see him getting more speed out of that
Yeah. And
this
now
time again.
If we take a look at Elcon, look at how he lands. He goes super far left on the jump. Lands in a way where he pushes the right side of the car down to get more ground contact, and he's almost overtaken Afi. Afi just with a little bit more speed is going to be able to make it. Elcon with too low of a jump, and that's going to make Afi and Arel first and third, getting the 2 points and tying up the match again 7-7.
7-7 is a very dangerous scoreline in this format. That is an ace away from closing it out for BDS. This is not the scoreline Into the Breach could have hoped for, but they could just as well win it with an ace.
Yeah, I mean, an ace would close it out for you, but still also that victory, even if you get first and third right now, those 2 points would put you at 9, which is super scary for the other team as well.
That is also terrifying, yeah. So big pressure round here. They know what's at stake. They've had time to get into the groove of the map after all these rounds. And now it's time to deliver round number 7 underway. Which team is going to get off to the best start? Great exit here for Arel. Going to get a lot of speed up the hill together with his teammate Afi. They are top 2. Elcon falling a little bit behind, out of frame. But we know he does that bobsleigh well. And he's probably going to come back into the round, almost into the corner. Really good speed though. Look at this. He's just zooming past Arel there and almost going to catch up to Mime. This looks like it could be another tie, but they're chasing down Afi. Yeah, are they going to get him on the plank? He's lower speed here. Elcon trying to land early here, trying to land early in the next one. A flip could actually do it. One of them might go for it. Elcon deciding not to. The speed, though, on the last jump. Are they going to catch up? Afi holding it down. 200s.
What a great deny there by Afi. He could just feel the other people breathing down his neck, trying to get that overtake, but he held it. He defended that first place. We're going into an 8-8, which means that if you get first and third now, your team wins.
That is a miraculous save for Afi. 200s to one player, 400s to the other, giving Arel a chance to catch his breath there, because Arel made a big mistake on the bobsleigh. Now they have a chance to win the match potentially because of that heroic effort. But Mime has a better start than in most rounds. He's far ahead. Afi, though, getting speed up that hill, down into the transition for the quarter pipe jump, trying to get across low. We have not seen anyone crash that yet, but Afi pushing it to the limit, ahead of the 2 Into the Breach players. 310s, he gets a bad bobsleigh. They're looking for the ace right now. Only one of them needs a perfect, and Mime hits the wall. Afi will have more speed, so will Arel. This could be a tie. They're both actually going to get very close. They're not going to catch up yet, though. They could need the flip here. It could be the only way back. Are they going to go for it? Elcon misses! And Arel is going to try to win the round.
No
Is he ahead? Oh, it's over.
What a upset coming in from Into the Breach there. Elcon unfortunately making that low jump happen once again, not for the first time, and that's gonna cost them the map win. And Team BDS actually getting the 4th map win now.
This map was just one long highlight reel, starting from down 2 maps, ending up with a quad sweep in the end. beautiful performance by Team BDS, and a team that many people had underrated on their list, myself included. I stand corrected. This team is looking really good.
Absolutely. That was a crazy, crazy ending here. And as we see some of the highlights, Elcon looking here, getting just that little bit off of a landing, slowing him down a little bit too much, as you can see. Unfortunate coming in from Elcon, but what a match.
Yeah, and then the round where, again, crashing that ending, it's so hard to get the exact right car tilt while preserving the speed, and another crash, so Elcon might have to go back to the drawing board for the ending of reps here. It's also Parkour, sorry. It's also a map they could ban out if they don't fancy it.
Yes.
But what a start to the tournament. And ladies and gentlemen, there is more where that came from. We have 3 more matches coming up. The next match is going to be Gamers First versus Alliance. That is Gwen and Binks versus Mutta and Solja. It's going to be a spectacle to watch. We're going to cut to a quick 5-minute break, but when we return, we'll have picks and bans and a match preview. So do not go anywhere, and while you wait, enjoy some world record replays on the maps. These are the top 3s from all the maps.